After 5 months of working with Naima, I knew that I wanted to continue. I knew that I wanted to extend our contract, but I hesitated because of the dollar amount, and I struggled with how I was going to tell my husband that this was going to cost $65,000. But I came to the point of saying to myself that I'm choosing myself. This is work, this is healing that needs to be done, and the cost of not doing this work far outweighed the cost of any dollar amount. And what isn't dealt with in our youth erupts in midlife. I'm choosing myself by doing this work. And I just remember in 4th grade, I broke my leg, and the big thing then was jump roping. So for 6 weeks, I sat on the sidelines and I was the one twirling the rope. And that's what that felt like, thinking I could sit on the sidelines for the rest of my life, but I'm not going to do that anymore. At the end of the 90s, I worked for a woman for 3 years who had started her own luxury gardening business. And during the 2nd year, I found out that I was paid less than the others. And when I confronted her about that, she said that she paid the others more because I didn't need the income that the others did, meaning my husband made a substantial income. The 3rd year, she paid for several of us to go to a gardening conference in Toronto, but at the end of the season, I didn't receive a year-end bonus. And again, when I asked her what her rationale was, she said she had paid for this business trip and I did not need the year-end bonus. I made the decision to leave her employment and start my own gardening business. It was terribly scary. I mean, I was so scared that I couldn't do this. But in the end, it turned out to be not as difficult than I had anticipated. And I started with 2 clients in a historic neighborhood in Minneapolis. And through word of mouth, my business grew. Then the 2nd year I was in business, my husband took a job out of state. And we spent a lot of time discussing this and what I would do with my business. I didn't want to give up my business because it was something that I had really, really enjoyed. After being a stay-at-home mom for over 20 years, I was getting up every morning and I was in charge of my own life. We made the decision that my husband would commute between Vermont and Minneapolis, which came with a lot of fallout. Our friends thought we were headed for divorce. My mother thought that I should get out to Vermont and take care of my husband and cook and clean, and the board of the company had a big problem with it too. Still, through it all, this was something that I wanted to do, and it was something that I enjoyed. It brought me a lot of pleasure and a feeling of accomplishment. And this was an example of, a big example of when I chose myself.